Everyone, today is Ask Away Wednesday, where we answer your top questions around data governance and data security. Today's question is, what is one bad habit that data governance and data security teams should be breaking? I'll let James start.
I think there's a couple of bad habits. One of them is, I think, continuing to perpetuate the myth that security is always last, and that we are, hated, or we don't get enough money. Or the one that I like is
business prevention team.
The business prevention team, or it's a thankless job, the work that I do. And I think one of the bad habits is that the governance and security folks kind of self-propagate that. I think if you don't show up to meetings and you don't speak in those meetings and you don't offer things that help, you're kind of self-propagating that type of persona. So I would encourage folks to understand the business goals associated with the projects that you're working on and do everything you can to help achieve those business goals. Sometimes that might make you compromise on some of your beliefs or some of the things that you think are required to happen from a security or governance perspective. And I'm here to tell you that you can sometimes be gold plating those types of activities. Does that make sense, Chris?
100%. Some of the things that I think about too, just thinking more about people, is be less reliant on people and be more reliant on automation. We recently encountered a company, a fairly large company, and their governance to security or policy to policy enforcement bridge was they would take an export out of their data catalog in some, I think it was like a CSV or an XML format. I don't really remember. And then they relied on humans to basically email that over to a completely different group of people for them to import the policy from the data catalog and have that policy materialize in a database like Snowflake. That's totally unnecessary. Like, that's the type of thing, like, we have software for a reason. Software is deterministic and automation is deterministic. Given a set of inputs, you're going to get a set of outputs. Do more of that.
I mean, is that, you could look at that as being lazy. You could look at it as being, I'm too busy, to fix that manual process.
I think it's operational inefficiencies. We just got to tear down those walls.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to go look for things that are going to help the business move forward. I think that's kind of going back to that other point. I think the other thing too, on people, you said don't rely on people. There's going to be a reduction in the available spend that you have to use third-party consultants, third-party services. And so if you're working with a body shop today or a shop that's selling you hours to implement projects, you're probably going to start to see some of those budgets, shrink in size. So I agree with Chris. Find software that's here to help. There's a number of processes in your business that you've automated away. I love the quote. I forget who said it. I think it was some famous, software person. He said, I love getting a lazy engineer to solve the hard problems, because the lazy engineer will find the most, efficient way to solve it and automate, so they never have to do it again. Think about it like that, in those types of scenarios.
100%. Well, we hope that answered your question. Tune in next week when we answer more questions. If you have any kind of specific questions that you think would be interesting to have answered, go ahead and drop them in the comments. We're not afraid of hard questions. James and I answer hard questions all day, every day for our customers and stakeholders. So feel free to ask.